Okay, so in our Careers in FM series, we're continuing to spotlight the incredible journeys of our IWFM Veterans in FM Network committee members. And today I'm joined by someone whose career has spanned everything from military aviation engineering to leading edge facilities management innovation. I'm Michelle Connolly, co-founder of FM Talent and Recruitment Partner 300 North and also committee member for the IWFM Veterans in FM Network. And I'm absolutely delighted to be speaking with Alistair Scott today. Good morning, Alistair.
Good morning, Michelle. How are you?
Yeah, all good here, thank you.
Good.
A little bit of a cold, so you might have to bear with me if I'm sniffling a bit this
That's
morning.
all
So a long intro, as they all are with our committee members, fantastic careers. So bear with me on this one as well. I'll try and do my best to introduce you as well as I can, Alistair.
I'm sure you'll
So
try.
from his early days as an aircraft technician and engineering officer in the British Army's Royal Electrical and Mechanical Engineers, or REME, where he served for over 13 years across global operations, to his leadership roles in some of the UK's most recognisable organisations, Gatwick Airport, Liquid Capital Group, and Akzo Nobel. Alice's career has been built on technical excellence, operational leadership, and a passion for people. After senior consultancy and director roles in the FM sector, Alistair went on to found Integrated Estates Management, or IEM, in 2020, with a mission to simplify the complexity of facilities management. His approach, likening IEM to a pit crew for buildings, reflects his drive to keep clients' estates running at peak performance through compliance, innovation, and trusted partnerships. He's since become founding director of the Maze Vanguard Group, bringing together IEM, Carbon Dot, and New Vale under one vision for smarter, sustainable building solutions. Alongside his business ventures, Alistair plays a key role in the IWFM Veterans in FM network, serving as deputy chair, where we have the pleasure of working together. And he continues to champion veterans' transitions into FM through his work with Veterans Can and as an ambassador for Care After Combat, and also supports Scotty's Little Soldiers. To make Alistair even more interesting, he's also a racing driver for Mission Motorsport. And to top it off, a couple of weeks ago, Alistair won Leader of the Year at the 2025 Veterans Awards. So, Alistair, from the parade grounds of Sandhurst to the boardrooms of modern FM, your journey is a brilliant example of how military leadership translates into business success. And I'm really looking forward to hearing more about it today. Told you it'd
That
be a long intro.
that was pretty inclusive of everything, and it does make you think when you hear back. Yeah, pretty cool journey. But I'm also feeling a lot older now. You go through all of that, so yeah. Thank you for bringing me down straight away. But no, it's all good. Thank you.
Well, let's. Should we start with your journey? How you moved into FM and what led you into the sector, really?
Yeah, so I would say after my time in the military, so engineer first and foremost, as well as doing lots of other cool stuff over that period. But I never knew anything about facilities management. It's one of those things that you'd never even heard of, whether it's from school days, from even your time in the military. It was not a thing that we understood.
Yeah.
There was a discipline. Um, I left fairly fast and furiously from the military in
Mm.
2009, 8, 9.
Yeah.
And I went for an engineering S type role. I got the either opportunity for Mars as an operations manager there, or Gatwick Airport as an airport manager. And I took the airport one because I thought it's always going to be there. It's going to, that infrastructure, that building is always going to be in place. So I'm going to have a job and not going to have to move around and mess about, especially from the
Yeah.
family side, like I'd always done.
Mm.
So started at Gatwick Airport, and I would say within the first few months, it came up that the Competitions Commission was looking at BAA having the monopoly on UK airports, and ultimately end up selling an airport. Now, why does that? Why did that lead me into FM? It actually made me double down on facilities because it was all about the asset value of an
Yeah.
airport. It was all about the condition of the assets. and all the other good stuff that goes with running an airport as well. But what it made me realize is FM is something that I love and had fallen into substantially. But yeah, that was my kind of first soiree. Also, a bit seen off in the fact that Mars UK's factory is still there, and after a year at Gatwick, ended up selling it and then moving to Heathrow, but for a small stint. So funny how things work out. But yeah, that was my doubling down time.
It is, and I say this every single time, but I don't think I've ever interviewed one person that hasn't said they've fallen into FM. So it's a good reason for doing some of these, so people understand a bit more about the opportunities and, you know, choose a purposeful career in FM rather than falling into it. So what do you think? What parts of your military experience do you think have helped you most in your FM career so far?
There are many facets when it comes to things that you are taught, things that you learn, things that basically the government and the military and taxpayer invests in you when you join the military. But going back to Gatwick Airport, day one, week one, I felt that I was in the right place and the right environment, because straight away my two up was an ex-Cosby, so Scottish borderer. My other team members on landside, he was my old ASM, so Artificer Sergeant Major. So automatically I felt I was in an environment surrounded by veterans. And actually that's something that's been fundamental through my entire career. But ultimately, what do we bring and from the military, and why does it translate and transition so well into facilities management? It's just really simple. It's the can-do attitude. It's adapting and overcoming, and it's about delivering on the day. It's a cliche, but just get stuff done. And that's how it works.
Okay, well, yeah, definitely a good message. We need more people like that in FM for sure. So you talked about how you got into FM and sort of the first careers. I'd just like to hear a little bit more about how your career really then developed, and you know, within that, really any sort of standout moments or tough transitions you found along the way.
So transition-wise, as I alluded to there, I jumped straight, literally Friday afternoon on on HMS Ocean, coming back from the Mediterranean, and then the Monday morning starting at Gatwick Airport. I mean, I did the opposite from what I tell everyone to do now, which is actually use that transition. For my own reason, my own demons, I just wanted to bang out and get into the real world as soon as practically possible. But funny enough, I was talking to a new guy that's just joined us from the military. He's still serving actually, but he's on his transition time at the moment. And I said, how are you going to use your credits? How are you going to use those points? How are you going to, further fulfill your qualifications or competency by using it? And I say that to everyone because I didn't do it. Is my big takeaway. Look, when it comes to what are the other standout things, the airport was amazing. It was that time of learning spreadsheets and learning commerciality, which I never had to do in the military at all. So I always use the analogy, putting down the bullets and bombs and picking up a spreadsheet. So selling an airport, pretty cool accolade to have under your belt. And then going to Liquid Capital, which is a market-making trading company. Imagine Wolf of Wall Street on Heath. That's the environment I walked into. Absolutely amazing opportunity to end up working globally. So running 13 offices and 6 data centers around the world. So that was good fun, and tick that box from getting back out there, getting to different places, unusual places, usually a little bit nicer hotels than I had in the past. But so that was really good. And then from there, thrust into the big corporate chemical world. So ICI, AkzoNobel, so running chemical sites across EMEA, offices and Dulux decorator centers and everything in between. So standout thing was, it was just keeping true to myself. My biggest faux pas through that period was trying to emulate those around me.
Right.
I'm not a city trader.
Mm,
Um,
mm,
I'm not a corporate beast.
yeah.
And actually, after being in that environment for such a long time, I ended
Mm,
up pretty much not liking myself and some of the things I was doing. So,
mm,
um, yeah, my big takeaway from that is be yourself, be true to yourself. You don't have to be this chameleon in your environment.
yeah.
And that's one of the main things that led me to say, actually, number one, I don't want to play politics on a daily basis because in the
Mm,
military, you don't really play politics.
yeah.
There's a nice hierarchical structure, but there's still room to maneuver within that, and everyone knows their place. Whereas politics, everyone is kind of crumbling over the top of each other all the time.
Yeah.
So that boardroom life sucked me in and basically spat me out the other side. And I said, I don't want to do that anymore. Hence, with
Mm,
IM and and now the wider group, we don't have a board. We have an entire leadership team, and we get together and go from there. So I would say, amazing experiences, absolutely some awesome places to work and learn from. But
mm.
my biggest takeaway is, and my biggest thing I wish to translate to other people is, be yourself, and don't have to emulate what is sometimes a relatively toxic environment in the corporate world.
Yeah, good. And I think it's so important that you've brought that up because we know when we're speaking to service leavers, don't we, through the Veterans in FM network, that it is that daunting piece of stepping into civvy world and having to feel like you have to be somebody different to how you have been. So yeah, I'm really glad you brought that up. And I think the other things you've talked about show the diversity as well of a career in FM, and that's just your journey that you've stepped through, lots of different sectors and that sort of thing. So it's good to highlight that as well. You've probably touched on this a little bit as you've gone on. The passion that you've developed for supporting veterans and how you were dealing with veterans when you came into the FM sector as well. But what made you really get involved with the Veterans in FM network, and what does it mean to you now going forward?
So, really interestingly, and probably not too dissimilar from a lot of people, when I got out of the military, I kind of not turned my back on it, but put it in a box and put it to one side, and then didn't really touch anything to do with the military, apart from Remembrance Day Parade. Used to go with my family to our local place in Arborfield, which is where our depot used to be back in the day. But kind of put it to one side in a box. And it wasn't until I was starting out on my own and realizing that networking, bear in mind I hadn't done much networking before this.
Yeah.
LinkedIn to me was something. I set up a profile and had like 5 people that were friends as such.
Mm,
Or contacts. And it was when I set up on my own, I said, well, actually, I need to get out there. I need to be known. There's no point in having a great product if no one knows it exists. And it was such an easy hook into the veterans world. And the amazing thing
mm,
about the veterans community is it's you can only join it if you've been there, seen it, done it.
yeah.
And but once you're in it for life. So
Mm,
it is a real lifelong piece. And um, the boys and girls, everyone really does look out for each other with absolute selflessness. And it's that bit that was missing, going back to the politics side in the corporate world, it's that bit that was missing through all of that. And do kick myself, I never got involved sooner. So one big takeaway is absolutely get involved with it from day one, especially the various veteran networks with different disciplines, but especially our ones in facilities management. So yeah, kind of got involved through networking. Went to a couple of events, met some very great like-minded people. Met Louisa for a start,
yeah.
and then Mark as well, Mark Mosley,
Hmm.
and realised there's something in this because even though everyone was doing slightly different things, we're all still in the same industry. And we all had a vision of why the hell isn't there more of us here, or the fact there's so many of us here, but it's not joined up. And yeah, that it kind of just went from there really. So it's been embryonic, but then I find myself and listening back to the intro there. I never wanted to put myself front and center. I mean, the
Mm,
industry's full of some big characters,
yeah.
the veterans world,
Mm,
and there's some there's some great people on there, and I just want to kind of sit on the periphery. But when you think of some of the things I'm involved with, from Mission Motorsport to the Scotties World, Scotties Little Soldiers, to the Care After Combat, to the Veterans FM, there's so much great stuff going on out there, and I've kind of jumped in feet first, and I'm neck deep in it now. So it's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, well, we're glad you have, because it's an amazing community. So I'm probably going to switch questions around a little bit here, but you've touched on why you think FM's a great option for veterans a little bit. I'd like to explore a little bit more on that, if you don't mind, and also, you've definitely touched on some advice that you would give people that are just starting to explore it. There's a couple of standout things in there, be yourself, that you've said, and get involved. But any more to add to that as well would be interesting to hear.
So YFM, so we've touched on it before. It's an amazingly diverse industry, and I've alluded to there. And the great thing is, once you're the facilities manager or in the facilities management department or supporting a certain business, you learn so much about that business because you touch every element of it. So whether it's the airports, you touch every element that goes on in an airport. Whether it's a trading company, you touch all those sides. Chemical company, you touch all the sides, from whether it's the marketeers to the research and development teams to help desk team. You're around everything. So don't think of it that you're just going in to be in the facilities management world. You touch everything of those relevant disciplines you go into, whether it's the NHS, whether it's in the city, whether it's in various other industries around the country. So number one, it is absolutely diverse, and you can bounce around different industries, much like we used to do, especially from service support elements in the military. Used to be attached. One minute you're attached to the gunners, next minute you're attached to aviation, next minute you're attached to the armor corps. So that same piece emulates all the way through facilities management. Number two, facilities management needs us. What do I mean by that? It is it's a growing industry. When I first got into it, it was coming to maturity, or an element of maturity, but it's still not fully mature. There's a real need for leadership, and there's a real need for trained competency. It is an industry that not just veterans fall into, anyone can fall into. But the thing is, we come with that kind of oven ready competency on how to manage things, people, material, etc. And it shines, it stands out. If you look across even just the committee or other people we know, they're absolutely flying. There's some amazing characters, and there's some amazing, as Michelle, you will absolutely find out as you go through the rest of this journey, stories that go behind how people have achieved these things. So the industry needs us, and it needs veterans to come out with those skill sets and go from there.
Yeah, 100% agree. And being on the recruitment side, obviously, I see that every day. The need for that resilience and leadership within pretty much every contract we deal with on behalf of our clients is huge. So so finally, Alistair, just coming onto the market, I guess really, what do you think are the biggest challenges that we face as an FM market at the moment, and also, opportunities?
It's a really interesting one. I think there's one thread that will still stay with us, and we've still never been able to resolve, which is this continual race to the bottom. I thought it was getting better a few years ago, but I've definitely encroached back in, and that puts all sorts of stresses and strains on delivery for what we do, whether it's hard, soft services, etc. Because if you go in there and end up buying the contract for various reasons, then actually your ability to deliver that, or the client's ability to get the best of the service delivery partner, is dead in the water from day one. So that old age issue of race to the bottom, buying contracts, is still there. It just doesn't seem to be talked about as much. But we still see it out there. Number two, biggest one, leadership and competency. How do you get competent people with leadership traits and abilities into this industry? Because it's not known, and because people fall into it. There's not that first choice, that guy or girl that's come out from university, come from the military, school, college, whatever, to go, I want to go into facilities management. So we've got to shout about the industry more, and we've got to back ourselves a lot more as a whole industry. The problem is everyone's either siloed into the big players, whether it's CBRE, ISS, Mighty, Sodexo, etc., or whether it's the kind of the middle band of companies like IM's just verging, bumping on the bottom of that at the moment, but that are there. But no one seems to talk to each other. And what's the most amazing thing about being part of the veterans in facilities management team is we all come from cross sector, and we all look after each other. And if we can do our little bit across the whole of the veterans community in facilities management, and have this cross fertilization of ideas, and have this one voice, then there's an absolute chance that we can talk to the wider society and the wider industry to say FM is something that adds value to your business, not just a must-have, a cost center that you don't really care about. Because the reality is, if they didn't need buildings, everyone would be in a tent in a field or on a park bench somewhere. Everyone has buildings, whether you're in a Starbucks, it's still a building, right through to a factory office in London or a manufacturing site, and we're that glue that keeps that together. So, I think that recognition, competency, and just absolute understanding that if we work together, there's an absolute value add there.
Yeah, and hopefully we're doing a little bit to change that through the IWFM Veterans in FM network. So, Alistair, thank you. That's been great. I've loved hearing about your journey a little bit more. Is there anything that we haven't covered that you want to bring up?
I think I could bore everyone to tears, for those who knows me, about all these various different things. I think number one is just whoever's listening to this, for those 2-3 of you that listen to this, get involved in the Veterans and FM thing. We're a good bunch of guys and girls. If you don't or haven't even entertained looking at FM, give us a shout. There's a lot of us out there that can talk you through it. There's a lot of businesses now that are giving kind of try before you buy opportunities, a bit of work experience there, and we can help point you in those relevant directions. But or if you just want a brew and catch up, give us a shout. Thank you.
Great. Thanks, Alistair. Good to talk to you, and enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.